like Dan got the pass on this. Started to Brandon right on his bumper though. As they come around, Dan going inside. Paul Sinclair right with him as well, going down the street. 1, 2, and 3. Gonna be bumper to bumper almost. There they come over the big quad. Dan going big. Brandon and Paul playing it safe, coming through the infield now. 1, 2, and 3. Dan holding them off. Getting a little bit of room over the pack. Almost like Brandon caught it too. Paul's going to get it on him. He bobbles again. Traffic coming up on him. He's going to fall back. So it's going to be the Dan and Paul show now. Going down the street. Coming over the quad. Dan going big. Paul playing it safe. Double-doubling it. Plenty of time in this race. He's going to let Dan get a little confidence built up. Then he's going to reel him in. Just like Paul did in that trucks race, that last qualifier, taking that PQ at the end there. Knows he's got plenty of time, having a little trouble now coming in the straight though. Dan's going to get a little breathing room now. He's playing it safe over the big quad. We got Brad, Rudy, Brandon rounding out your top 5. Here comes your leader in the infield over the small double. Working in the dragon back. Second place Paul working in the infield now over the double. Dan nice and smooth in the dragon back. Paul second place in front of the dragon back now. Brad Hackett holding that number 3 spot. Only 3 seconds back of Paul though. That field is creeping up. There's your leader coming over that double, working into the dragon back again. Second place over the double. That battle for third place right now looks like Brad Hackett. Not sure who he's battling with. Let's see when they come around here. Looks like that may be Rudy. It is. Brad Rudy battling for third. Brandon trying to make his way back to the field here. He's got traffic right in front of him though. Oh! Catching at the end of the straight there. Brandon looking to pass. Not having any luck. First and second working their way down to the straight again. And ripping your leader, Paul Sinclair, right there with him. Looks like they only got about 4 seconds separating them on that last lap. Watch the infield here, watch the infield. Oh, there's your leader catching the 2 now. Coming up on some lap traffic, giving Paul a chance to reel in a little closer. Looks like only going to be a couple seconds of gap here. 3 seconds to be exact. Leaders back down the straight, coming up on some lap traffic. We got 3 down, 6 to go. Dan, Paul, Brad, Rudy, Trophy, your top 5. There's your leaders again over the double. Got 1 in between them. Dan coming across 25.6. Paul 25.1. Only 2 second gap now. Oh, looks like Paul catches some traffic. Gets around him, helping the marshal. Dan coming off the quad into the infield now. Paul working through the quad, having a little trouble there, it looked like. 3:30 down, 5:30 to go. There's your leader in front of the driver's stand. Second place Paul over the double coming in front of the driver's stand. Got lap traffic ahead of him. And his second place coming behind you guys into the straight. If he catches you, let him by.
Thank you.
Right, Brandon Marsh made his way back up in the 3rd. Hackett's down to 5th. Rudy Johnson up in that 4th spot. Looks like that's the battle coming in the quad for 3rd place. There's your leader over the small double coming into the dragon back. You can find 3rd place or 2nd place Paul having a little trouble in the infield catching the 2. Giving Dan a little bit of breathing room now. Paul upside down, 2nd place in front of the double. Dan getting a little bit of breathing room now. I believe Brandon made his way up in the 2nd place now. Missed the pass there. Brandon making his way back up to the front of the pack. After having trouble early on at the 5-minute mark, 4 to go. Got Dan, Brandon, Paul, Rudy, and Brad. There's Second place in front of Dragon back there. Third place, Paul, not far behind him, only about 3 seconds back. Meanwhile, your leader working through some lap traffic. Coming around 27.8 for Dan that time. Here comes second place, Brandon Marsh. He's only about 8 seconds back in the leader now. 3.5 minutes left in this one. Dan, Brandon, Paul, Trophy, Brad, now your top 5. Here's your leader, Dan Griffin, 26 flat that time. Second place, working through the doubles. Like Paul made the move on Brandon back up in that number 2 spot now. Those guys are only 1 second apart down the straight. Close battle now. Second place going over the quad. Going for the double-double. Here they come in front of the driver's stand now. Brandon back out in front of Paul. 2-second gap there. Working into the straight. Going over the quad section again. Nice and smooth there. Almost bumper to bumper as they come through the infield off cambers. Battle for second place. Looks like only a 1 second gap for that number 2 spot now. Meanwhile, your leader, a little bit of breathing room here, working his way on the infield. Working his way through some lap traffic now. Pretty clean track ahead of him. Battle for second place, almost bumper to bumper, coming to the off camber and the double now. You guys coming to Dragon back, leaders behind you. That's the battle for second place there. Brandon and Paul battling out, only half a second separating them into the straight. If these guys get out their way, it looks like they're giving them some room there to pass. Good job. Over the big quad. Coming through the off cambers now. Into the roller, into the double, Brandon and Paul. Your close battle into the Dragon back now. Still only 1 second separation for number 2. Your leader working the infield. Little bit of breathing room.
That wasn't me, Scott.
Dan Griffin still leading this one. Brandon and Paul battling it out here.
Thank you.
So only 1 second separating them.
Oh.
There's your leader in front of the driver's stand. Got a little bit of breathing room. That battle coming in the infield now. Brandon still holding Paul off here. Paul catching the 2. Got 1 in between them. Brandon turns to 26.9. Paul to 29.2. He's got about 20 seconds. This may be their last lap here. Brandon playing it safe over the quad. Paul trying to get around. Gets a little bit of room there. Still slows him down. Looks like Brandon's going to be able to hold him off here. 5 seconds on the clock. Brandon's going to get it. Paul's going to get caught the line as the master clock expires. You guys there are done. Everybody else making their way around. One more lap here. That'll be the race. Dan holding on for the win. Brandon Marsh, the whole third. Paul already done with that third spot. The trophy and